Have you ever bought something secondhand and felt like it carried something with it? Not dirt, not memories, something else. Because when I was around 10 or 11 years old, something happened that I still think about to this day. Now, before I start, believe whatever you want. You can tell me it was just a nightmare. You can tell me that I had an overactive imagination. But I know what I felt that night, and I've never experienced anything like it before or since. I was around 10 or 11 years old, living at home with my family. My mum had been to a charity shop and she'd bought me a pair of pyjamas. Nothing unusual. Growing up, charity shops were normal. We got clothes from them all the time. I didn't think twice about it. The pyjamas looked completely normal. Nothing scary, nothing creepy, nothing that would make you think twice. That night, I got ready for bed, put the pyjamas on and climbed under the covers. Everything felt normal. I remember falling asleep pretty quickly. And then the dream started. At first, it didn't feel like a dream. It felt real. Too real. I found myself standing somewhere dark, not pitch black, just dark enough that everything felt wrong. And then I saw her, an older woman. At least, I think she was older. The thing I remember the most wasn't her age. It was her hair. It was wild, messy, covering most of her face. I couldn't see her eyes. I couldn't clearly see her expression. But somehow, that made it even worse, because my brain was filling in the blanks. And every possibility was terrifying. She started laughing. Not a normal laugh. Not the kind of laugh you hear when someone tells a joke. It was cruel. The kind of laugh that makes your stomach drop because you know you're being mocked. The kind of laugh that says somebody enjoys seeing you afraid. That's exactly what it felt like. Like she enjoyed it. Like she knew I was terrified. And she loved every second of it. I remember trying to get away from her. Trying to move. Trying to wake up. Trying to do anything. But I couldn't. Every time I thought I was escaping, she'd be there, again, watching, laughing, waiting. And then, something even stranger happened. I started feeling pain. Real pain. I've had nightmares before. Most people have. But usually, when you wake up, you realise it wasn't real. This felt different. Inside the dream, I could feel pain. Not just fear, pain. And that made everything feel even more real. I remember becoming overwhelmed. I wasn't just scared. I was panicking. I felt trapped. Like no matter what I did, she was always there. Laughing, taunting me, enjoying every second of my fear. And the whole time, I had this horrible feeling that she wanted me there. Like I belonged there. Like I wasn't supposed to wake up. I don't know how long the nightmare lasted. Dreams are strange. Sometimes they feel like seconds. Sometimes it feels like hours. But eventually, I woke up. And when I say I woke up terrified, I mean terrified. I sat, bolted upright in bed. My heart was racing. I was sweating. The room was dark. And for a few seconds, I genuinely didn't know if I was awake or still dreaming. That's how real it felt. I remember looking around my room, trying to calm myself down, trying to convince myself it was over, trying to convince myself that it'd just been a nightmare, but something felt off. I couldn't explain it. I just felt wrong. Like the fear hadn't stayed in the dream, like some of it had followed me back. And then my eyes landed on the pyjamas. The same pyjamas that I'd worn for the first time that night. And instantly, I felt uncomfortable. Now logically, I know how this sounds. The pyjamas were just pyjamas, a piece of fabric, nothing more. But even as a child, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was a connection. Something in my gut was screaming at me that those pyjamas weren't staying in my room. The next morning, I told my mum about the nightmare. I told her everything, about the woman, about the laughter, about the fear, about how real it felt. And I told her I didn't want to wear the pyjamas ever again. Not once, not ever. I wanted them gone. And I mean gone. Not hidden in a drawer, not put in a cupboard, gone, thrown away. And that's exactly what happened. The pyjamas were thrown out. I never wore them again. And here's the strange part. The nightmare stopped. Immediately. No repeat dream. No woman appearing again. Nothing. Just silence. Now, maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe my brain created a connection because I was scared. Maybe it was all psychological. I genuinely don't know. But I can tell you one thing. I've worn thousands of pieces of clothing in my life. And only one of them was followed by the most terrifying nightmare I've ever experienced. One. What do you think? Was it just a nightmare? Was it childhood imagination? Or is it possible that some objects carry more than we realize? Maybe memories, maybe emotions, maybe something darker. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you've ever had a creepy experience connected to secondhand items, I'd love to hear it. And after that night, I never looked at charity shops the same way again. Welcome to the Haunted Mind of Jana. Subscribe if you like.